daughters are tricky because
they hate boys and they love boys. They still want adventure, but they don't. But romance is
when we don't
love it.
Right, we don't need romance novels because that's not cool, and we don't need little kid books, but we want an appropriate love experience book. So hard.
With a strong female role in it, but not
too strong to where she's like butch. Like, come on, we got like these qualities that are great, but anyways.
No. We want her to overpower every other character and be like, I don't need anybody else in my life, because we all need people to help support us and make us strong too.
So we have each other.
I know.
Okay, so we're talking about Marissa Meyers, and we're going to focus on basically her style of writing that I think she got famous for.
Right.
Would be like fairy tale base writing. So it's really fun. So I have a Cinderella, and I'm going to give you the Queen of Hearts. So I just want to show off a couple of very different books. So the Cinderella, which is called Cinder book, is part of a series, and it is like futuristic android and cyborg and all sorts of things thrown into this world. But you still have your stepsisters, you still have the prince, you still have the ball, the stepmother, all the key elements of Cinderella, and it's really fun, weird read. Now, it was kind of weird for me a little bit, and the first book in the series is always tricky for me to just really love, but after this it was really fun to keep going. And just a little tiny plug for the next books, if you want to keep going on these fairy tale friends, basically you get to go to Little Red Riding Hood, who's Scarlet,
and the Big Bad Wolf,
and then we have Rapunzel, who's Cress, and Snow White,
who is Winter.
And
they are all part of the entire series. They all interact together to save the world.
Yes, and they're all friends, and they all have these dynamic relationships between each other and between the boy characters that come into the world, all the different prince-type people, which is so fun to see them be who they are too. And there's even kind of a prequel, Fairest, about the queen over Snow White. So it's just really fun, modern read, taking a fun spin on these fairy tales, and yet also keeping it really clean and yet grown up. Like, I don't know how to say that better than that.
Right, like it wasn't juvenile naive, it was very grown up, but not adult.
Exactly.
So it was just, and my daughter who struggles with being into a story, like she dove right into this and she ate it up. And like my husband even enjoyed it, and my son even enjoyed it, because they don't focus so much on the relationships, just the character building.
Yeah.
And the adventure in it is amazing, and how she just twists and turns and like weaves everything together is definitely like fairy tale magic.
It's really fun. And I think sometimes if you just look at like the thickness of some of these books, like that can be a little intimidating,
right.
Especially if your daughter is kind of like not the strongest reader. But I want to let you know, like she was talking about her daughter, the story is so good you can't not finish it. Like it's not intimidating once you're in it. You just are so happy to keep reading along. It's really fun.
Right. So then, in her next fairy tale world, this is called Heartless. And if you think that doesn't sound like a happy book, remember that. It's Heartless. It's about the Queen of Hearts. Who is the Queen of Hearts, people? She's not a nice person.
No.
So,
off with your head.
Right. So we get to meet and learn how she became who she was.
Yes.
So me who likes happy endings, I loved this book. I've not reread it 50,000 times like your daughter, but I really did love to see how she formed that to be like, how is this woman the Queen of Hearts and wants to cut off people's heads and has so much passion in the wrong direction. Like how you can easily fall into that trap. And I even think my girls learned a lot about that, to see the choices that she made and the direction that she went when she was faced with two doors to go through. And you're like, this is what I was like, good, you remember that? When that happens to you and there's a boy, you make the right choice.
Yes, all the words I've said to my daughter, I'm like, it's a good thing we have these to bring up and be like, remember when that happened and you wanted that for that character and they chose not to and you were so mad at them? Not that I need to be mad at them or anything, just that we make life choices, and she chose to be the Queen of Hearts, and so following her path to be that was very interesting to read. And the first time I read it, I mean, I might have cried. I probably totally cried. It was heartbreaking.
It was, because you're rooting for her so bad, and you want it to be like Maleficent. Hopefully we're not spoiling this. I don't know.
It's Heartless, people.
Spoiler.
Right? It becomes a Queen of Hearts.
I know. And you want it to be like Maleficent, how Disney twisted that and made her the happy-go-lucky, she fixed it. But this is true to the original fairy tale.
Yeah, she's gonna end up being that Queen of Hearts. The second time I read it, I actually took a long time before I read it again because I also hate that.
I haven't read it again.
Okay, so I read it again because again, like once it ends the way it ends, because she's the Queen of Hearts, and it was like, oh, that sucked. I'm like heartbroken. And then I was like a year or two, I was like, okay, I'm gonna read that again. It's been a long time. And I got to the point where I just know everything's downhill, and I was like, you know what? We all go through these choices, and sometimes we choose wrong, but I could totally understand exactly how she felt, and I didn't cry, and I was like, yup, it's about time. So sometimes it's funny to get that feeling of bonding in different ways with characters. So the first time it was heartbreaking, the second time was like, sometimes that happens.
I also think it depends on what we're going through in our lives, like as an escape as a book for you to like do things like that. So I definitely think, I don't know, maybe I should reread it again. We're in COVID and all this other stuff, and you'll be like, that's right, off with all their heads!
I'm telling you, sometimes you rewrite it, you're like, all right, I get it. Read it again. Right. And my daughter's probably read it like 3 or 4 times, and sometimes she'll get to the point where things start turning south, and she's like, nope, done. And she'll end it there because she feels like she has this nice happy story. No, I think the last time she finished it.
Your daughter keeps trying to talk my daughter into reading it, and she's like, no, I know how it ends, thanks. I'm gonna reread Cinder.
Yes, these are really fun.
Right, although Scarlet, I think that one, Scarlet or Cress, I don't remember which one's her favorite, but she'll just read one of those books out of the series because it's her favorite character.
Yeah, I think your daughter loves Cress and my daughter loves Scarlet. I think you have a Cinder. Anyways, it's so fun to see our girls really identify with these characters and like really become them. It was so fun. So, there's a few spin-off things, just as a side note, that maybe we'll show a few pictures for you, but
right, she's done more than just this.
So this is not everything, obviously, from her. We wanted to just kind of focus in here. She's got some graphic novel things.
Right, she's done Cinder, most of those are in graphic novels. She has a book, all of just a bunch of short stories that has one that continues off of here, and then one are just a bunch of different ones, and they're all fairy tale based. And they're so much fun. They're just short stories, so you just can read one a day.
Yeah, and not feel overwhelmed that I have to finish this novel. I'm in the middle of the book. Anyways, but I want to plug her future book. So she has a book coming out in November, and this one is not fairy tale based. One of the other series she does is more of a superhero series.
Yes, it's so fun.
Okay, that one may need its own video. It was really awesome. Not fairy tale, but a superhero based world. Really fun. But this next book that's coming out is kind of like related idea-wise to that. She didn't put that character into that superhero series. And so she gave it its own series, right? Its own book, I guess.
Okay.
You know more than I do.
No, I don't.
Oh.
You know more than me.
I know more about this than her. This is brand new for me. Okay, this does not happen. So she had
you're running with this one. You love this.
She had the idea while she was creating this other series, which is called Renegades, and then
I forget the middle one. Supernova and there's one in the middle.
Okay, that's the Renegades series.
Right.
And so one of these characters in that superhero world didn't fit in that series of books. So it's that idea in its book now, and it's called Instant Karma.
Oh, I know who it is now. But just by you saying that, I was like, okay, I can totally guess. So, and the Renegade, okay, finish that, and I'll do my spin on the Renegade.
I was just gonna say, with this, it's fun because it's not really being a superhero either. This is about karma and kind of having good or bad things happening to you because of how you acted. So I think it's gonna be a really fun read. I'm really looking forward to that.
Right. I'm excited for this spin-off. And what is she gonna do because of karma? And I love how she does her actions and consequences, and they're so realistic, but they're not harsh, and they're still fun and adventurous. So I think for teenagers, it helps them open their eyes and see consequences that are, whether they're good or bad, but no matter what our choices are, we have some type of consequence that happens. And I think she does a phenomenal job of interweaving that without the teens realizing that that's what they're reading. But we see it as adults.
Which as moms, we get to then pull those little things out and say, hey, remember when this happened? And you didn't like what happened there? And how were you acting? Anyway, it's so fun to relate because I feel like it gives them so much emotion when they read it. about what's happening without making it personal. So if you're trying to relate something to them, sometimes it's great to have that to pull from because they already have a strong feeling.
Right? So hats off to Marissa Myers. Thank you so much for teaching my daughters so many amazing things about this world in a fun way that they can learn from it and grow from it.
It's so fun. So get out there and read. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
Right? Pick up a Marissa Myers book now and then find her in November.
Yes.